Hey, welcome to Wednesday, September the 10th, 2025. It's your girl Morticia Sherman here with another podcast episode here with the Unapologetic Therapist, have a conversation for everyone. Today we're talking about unseen battles and unspoken strengths, the courage to keep going. It's your girl, Morticia Sherman, the unapologetic therapist. Let me tell you, welcome to the place where silence is shattered, stigma fails, healing speaks in unapologetic color. Yep, it's me, Morticia Sherman, the unapologetic therapist. I'm here to do the work. I'm a coach and an unapologetic truth teller. So let's get into tonight's episode where we're going to talk about conversations that society skirts around and avoids, laughs off, and really pretty much don't want to talk about. So this month is September, Suicide Prevention Month. Let me give you some information on that. While the world posts hashtags, we're going deeper because stigma doesn't just hurt feelings, it costs lives. Tonight is about breaking the silence that keeps people suffering in shadows and replacing it with connection, truth, and action. Okay? So y'all know I've been in the trenches. I've been in the trenches for over 11 plus years. Actually, I'll take that a step further back. I haven't just been in the trenches for 11 plus years. I've been in the trenches pretty much since the age of 14. And anybody knows me knows my backstory where I talk about mental health and how it impacted me and my family at the age of 14. It's not, about, having Instagram likes and, Facebook likes and all these social media platform likes. It's all about, seeing the vision and the version of what mental health is doing in the community and how we can do our part. You can do it behind the scenes, you can do it in front, you can volunteer with our services. Come sit out with us when we're out there in the community talking to people about mental health. Like, sharing, and subscribing this YouTube page, this Facebook page, Instagram. Like I said, it's not really about the likes. It's about sharing the information, getting the information out there so people can know that they are not alone, that this is not just them that's going through this process. So I've been in the trenches, for real healing pretty much since the age of 14. And it's been messy. It has really been messy. It's raw and life changing. And I'm not done by a long shot. 11 years, yeah. 11 plus years, yeah. Now I'm really honing in and reaching out to individuals who are ready to take that necessary step there is to become healed and not succumb to these generational behavior patterns and to succumb to these cliches that are out here. I'm always saying certain cliches that really does not matter, because it's not true. What happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. That's not true. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. That's not true. Get over it. How? What do you want me to get over? What are you telling me to get over without giving me the proper tools to get over that? So tonight, I'm going from silence to action. And how I'm doing so is we are coming from silence to action, disrupting mental health stigma. And how so? We're talking about unseen battles, unspoken truths, and the courage to keep going. With September being Suicide Prevention Month, and I'm not going to hold you guys long. I know that you hear preachers saying it all the time. I'm not going to hold you long, but I'm not going to hold you long today. I believe I've said enough. I believe that we've had many conversations, and now it's time to change the gears and put an action behind what is being said. Okay, so let's talk about what starts at home because stigma doesn't just live in the headline. We already know that. Stigma just doesn't live in the headlines. It lives in kitchens, in our families, group chats, and our Sunday dinners, conversations. When you're sitting around a table, you're sitting in a group chat, you don't know the person behind that chat. You really don't know the best version of that person that you're sitting at the dining room table with. You really don't know the best version of that person that you're in the kitchen with cooking. Y'all know, you don't know. I'm gonna say y'all. Stop saying y'all know. You don't know, but I'm a foodie. I love to eat. I love trying new foods. I love trying new dishes, and that's for me is a part of how I um, really manage my, my mental health. I enjoy doing things that makes me a better version of myself so I can see people and meet people. I love meeting new people. I love when people walk up to me and say, "Hey, I know you." Yeah, I know you too. And let's talk. Let's have those conversations. How many times have you heard, "We don't talk about that here"? How many times have you heard that? How many times have you seen someone in pain and brushed it off like it's a joke? How many times have you seen that? How many times have you experienced that yourself? Where you wanting to have a conversation and somebody says, "We don't talk about that here." Or you make a statement and people brush that off as a joke. Here's the truth. Calling out family stigma doesn't have to mean burning bridges. And we talked about that before. Bridging gaps, creating new bridges. It means building space for truth while standing in love. Building spaces for and in truth while still holding love. My shirt, this shirt that I have on, Unconditional Love, it's a choice. This is one of my merch that I have when it comes to mental health. When we talk about truth and wanting to be truthful about the things that bothers us, the unseen battles that we process and grow through daily, the unspoken truths, the unspoken strengths, having the courage to keep going. September being mental health awareness when it comes to suicide prevention. Individuals are waking up every day, finding the courage to keep going, finding the why, according to what society has us believing, the why of why I'm still here and why do I have to keep going. And, you know, that cliche, suck it up and keep moving. No, do not suck it up. Let's talk about that unseen battle. Let's talk about those unspoken strengths. Let's have conversations to keep you encouraged, to keep getting up and moving forward. You were meant to be here. You are here for a purpose. And here's why it matters this month. Silence in our homes can be deadly. We already know that. What happens in the house stays in this house. That right there within itself is enough to break a person, especially if you feel like you have no voice to talk about what it is that's concerning you. And what happens in this house stays in this house doesn't just equate to someone being molested. It equates to someone being verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically abused. It equates to someone who finds life disparities because you're living in a home where you feel like you're not being seen, that people are walking past you like you are just not there. You don't even exist. You are just someone living in a house almost like zombified. What happens in this house stays in the house. This house equates to so many different things within an individual within a person, within a couple, within a marriage, within any type of atmosphere where you feel like, why am I here? Where do I belong? Have you ever heard someone tell you, we don't need to have that conversation right now? Why? Did it trigger them? Did something happen? Do not be silenced. Do not be put to the side, because you have a right to feel the way that you feel. Everybody does. It's what you do with those feelings. Okay. So, this is, instead of saying we're wrong for thinking that, try and hear, but hear what the person is actually experiencing, instead of saying we don't need to talk about that. If it's a triggering thing for you, it's okay to say, hey, this is triggering. I believe we need to sit down and talk to someone professional, because I don't want to interpret what you're seeing in the wrong way. I don't want to feel like, again, like Moses say, I don't want to feel like you're coming at me or you're coming for me. I don't want to have the emotional deregulation. I want to regulate my emotions, and I want to be able to hear what you're saying and process it correctly, so it doesn't come off that you're coming at me in the wrong way. So, when we talk about that in the family and having those family conversations while sitting at the table and sitting in the kitchen and sitting in family group chats, here lately, a lot of families have been, since the phone is the go-to thing. It's no longer a rotary phone or the dial phone. You can now create family groups. And I, for one, have experienced a time where I was in a family group chat and it went array. And that's not exactly what I was trying to say at that time. But because it was misinterpreted, it became a real big issue with family members, and it hurt me to my heart, and I had to apologize. And it seemed like, no matter how much I apologized, it still didn't go anywhere. So when you're having those family group chats, not all the time are they meant to express things that are really bothering you, because a lot of times people have not healed from past trauma, past hurts, and you don't know if it was something that you've done that caused that past trauma, past hurt, and that individual took it as you're coming at them, or you're coming for them, or you're seeing stuff on the slick slide, or you're seeing things to be demeaning and condescending. So, when it comes to family, having conversations and truthful conversations are a great way to handle those unseen battles that you never really understood that there was an issue, or unspoken strengths, and giving a person the courage to continue to move on. Now, what I want to talk about next is digital elements, the digital elephant in the room. The digital elephant in the room, social media. Yes. When we talk about social media being a digital elephant in the room, we live in a world where mental health is either turned into a punchline or a petty quote or something posted in the background, a meme or something like that. And while those posts may get likes, they don't always get us closer to our healing. They really don't. It gets me when I see a lot of people posting subliminal messages. And sometimes when they come across my feed, I'm like, who are you really doing that towards? Are you really trying to get your point across to whom? Or who are you doing this at? And it's not a beneficial thing. You're really, when you're doing subliminal messages on your social media page, you're actually providing proof that you're having some unseen battles, battles that you don't want to talk about, but you're willing to put these memes or these statements on your social media page as if people around you are not really paying attention to that you're battling these unforeseen battles. And instead of you speaking them verbally and speaking your truth, you rather put it on social media. You rather for social media to fight your battles for you by putting subliminal messages out there. You don't need to put a subliminal message out there to fight your battle. Be truthful and say what you mean and mean what you say. Social media has robbed us so much of being true to who we are and finding our trueness and finding the better part of ourselves because we have not really taken advantage of what it's really for. And it's not for you to post your unseen battles. It's really for you to be able to interact with individuals that you otherwise don't be able to call on the phone and this and other. I remember when first Facebook was first created. It was created to reconnect people. Now in that reconnection, you got people throwing hate media and you got people throwing subliminal messages and you got people throwing messages out there where if you really feel a certain type of way, say what you mean what you say. You don't have to be a meme to tell me that, hey, uh, I'm this female that, is not your type, or um, I'm a male and you don't see me as a all of that stuff. No need for it. That shows a lot about a person in their unseen battles. Talk about those things. So, during Suicide Prevention Month, I want you to notice how often jokes about depression, suicide slides by your feed. Those dark humor posts. I want you to pay attention to that in the month of September. Also, you might be someone crying for help. There are so many people crying for help, not just during the month of September, during Suicide Prevention Month, but social media gives people so many avenues to cry out for help, but we take them as jokes. We slide up under them. We don't pay them no attention until something happens. May it be a close loved one. And suicide does not always mean the person take their life with a weapon. You have people who are eating badly and know that they should not be doing so. You got and know that they have an illness, but because that illness is there, they don't want to be a part of the world anymore. There's different avenues people use to take themselves up out of here so soon instead of reaching out and saying, hey, I want to be alive. I want to be here on this earth. I want to be a part of what I need to be a part of my purpose. But I'm not encouraged. I don't have the courage to keep going. I don't have the courage to keep moving forward. I don't have the courage to just say, hey, life is life in me instead of me life in life. You want to be able to hear a person out and pay attention. Social media, so many people are out there crying out, but too often people are seeing that as a joke. It's not a joke. Wanting to harm yourself is not a joke. Wanting to leave this earth before your time is not a joke. There's only one part of the scripture says that God knows the place, the time, and the hour. We don't know the place or the time and the hour, but you can make that happen for yourself. And that's what we call as therapists suicide. When you're wanting to leave. I am just really at this point where I am walking in the truth of knowing that we have conversations that nobody wants to have. We have conversations that are within us that we don't want to talk about. Why? Why do we don't want to talk about those things? Because we're thinking that somebody's going to judge us. We're thinking that there's a shameful thing. I'm going to be transparent and honest. I'm one that I don't like taking medication. I don't. I don't like taking medication. Why? Because I've seen what it done has done to other people. And that was one of my fears until here recently when I started seeing people who were not taking care of themselves with the same diagnosis that I've had or diagnosis that the doctors were giving me. And I was like, that's not what I want to do. I have so much to do. And I have so many people that I need to impact. We as a community, and I said this last time, the community is no longer community. I need us to get back as a community. We need to get back in being a community. Okay, Mr. Baker, what's that? I better not hear anything that remotely said. Oh, you won't get no apology. No, you won't get an apology out of me. So you ain't got to worry about that. You ain't gonna get no apology out of me. So here's my challenge: take 24 hours and stop strolling. Do a stroll detox for 24 hours off of social media. Replace that time with one real conversation about how you're actually doing. Because healing doesn't happen in the scroll, it happens in the soul. I like how I love being creative. So when you're doom scrolling, and during the time you're doom scrolling, you will come across social media where people are saying, and here in the past couple of weeks, I want to say, in your doom scrolling, you've came across people who have actually committed suicide. And as heartbreaking as it is, if you notice before that post even happened, that person was already crying out on social media for help. But again, social media does not take or social media does not look at things in life as reality. It takes things that are not reality and make it more accessible to us. So when you have, and I said this last week unapologetically, I remember growing up as a young girl, and my grandmother, thank you, Hattie, gave me my first experience about soap operas. And then soap operas during that time was the television way of now social media. Soap operas. You had All My Children, Young and the Restless, One Life to Live, Days of Our Life. I can go on. But we were watching these people lives before us, which really was not their lives. They was actors reading a script. But now it's no longer actors reading a script. Now you have people posting their lives on social media, and you don't even know if they're crying out for help or don't believe everything that you see on social media. It's not factual information. Honestly, because if a person actually told you the truth of how they struggle day for day with unseen battles and unspoken truth, the truth about and the strengths about themselves, and how they have to get up every day to build up the courage and the muster to keep going. That's everybody. I'm talking about pastors, I'm talking about people in ministry, people who are actors, who are doctors, nurses, lawyers. The unseen battles that we grow through daily does not really give you our unspoken strengths. But we too, I'm for one, we have to build up the courage to keep going every day. Because again, everybody has had an experience. Everybody has had some form of mental health experience. I don't care who you are. You've had a mental health experience. It may have not been as someone else's, but everybody has felt sad. Everybody has had a depressive episode. Everybody has everybody deals with anxiety. Anxiety is not bad. Anxiety cannot be good too. It depends on how you respond to these things. So, let's talk about vision versus action. S- Manifestation is beautiful. Vision boards are powerful, but here's the thing. A vision without action, y'all already know that. A vision without action is just a wish. A vision without action is just a wish. Suicide prevention isn't just awareness, it's an action. It's checking on your people, it's learning the warning signs, it's making sure someone knows they matter today and not just someday. I'm for one, I when you come across my mind, no matter how long it's been since I talked to you or spoken with you, and that's pretty much people all my life. If I have your phone number in my phone, because I've been having the same phone company, AT&T, since 2005. Thank you, AT&T, because you wasn't AT&T at first. You was my Bell, Southwestern Bell. But when I come across your name in my phone, if I'm not praying for you, I will reach out. I'll send a text, especially if it's a good friend of mine. And even if it's a foe, I will send a text message, hey, just checking on you, just seeing how you're in. And you may not respond, but I've done my part is reaching out to you to make sure that you're okay. I get those messages too a lot. Hey, I haven't talked to you in years. Just checking on you. I'm good. If you don't see me on social media or if we haven't talked in a while, just know that you're always a part of my heart. So ask yourself, what is one thing I can do today that my future self or someone else future will thank me for? Ask yourself that question. What is that one thing I can do today that my future self or someone's someone else's future will thank you for? That's a good one. What can you do for someone today? With September being Suicide Prevention Month, what can you do today for someone that you can reach out to who may otherwise think that nobody really cares about them? No one loves them. You already know the dynamics of their family, you know the dynamics of where they are. Reaching out to them and say, hey, is there something I can do to help you? A lot of times, I'm going to tell you the main word that a lot of people deal with when it comes to mental health, besides fear: pride. Pride takes people out of here a lot faster than fear. Pride is the culprit of mental health. Pride is a culprit of the unseen battles. People choose not to have a conversation because you too have too much pride that you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk to a professional about what's ailing you, what's bothering you, and why you can't move forward. I'm going to step on some toes unapologetically when it comes to mental health. Why? Because I love, and when I love unconditionally. And I want you to know that I love you unconditionally, unapologetically. Pride holds hands with those who don't want to talk about their mental health status. There's nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. There's nothing wrong with talking to a professional about things that you feel like are not right. There's nothing wrong with that. Suicide doesn't just happen and somebody starts overnight. It can come from the loss of a loved one. It can come from the loss of a job. It can come from a loss of a relationship. I told you, I I attempted suicide as a young teen at the age of 14 because I felt like nobody loved me. Then when I went through my divorce, it wasn't about him, it was about me. And I felt like I was not a good mother because I took my kids from living in a brand new home built from the ground up that was built in 2005. Of course, we stayed in Channelview, but I felt like I had then failed my children. And when I felt like I failed my children, that took a lot out of me. I have two sons and two daughters, and they were what I prayed for. And to be honest with you, if I go a step further, I really didn't want to get married. I remember in seventh grade, I just wanted the children because I said I wanted my kids because I wanted to have my own family reunion because of what transpired for me at the age of 14. And I was like, I want to be able to give the love. They give the love back. They have children. We have our own family reunion, and I don't have to worry about that. It'll be just me and my children and my grandchildren and my great grandchildren. Well, I had my children and they're taking their time with having children, but it's okay. I have grandson, granddaughter. I'm looking forward to continuing to be a nana and a nunu, nani, whichever one they call me. Well, I'm nana, and my granddaughter calls me nunu, and but I'm nani. But just with that, when I looked at my children, I was like, you know what? I don't want them to have the guilt for the rest of their lives thinking that they were the reason why I left this earth without giving them an opportunity to really know who I am as their mother. For that, I had to really hone in and look into the healing for myself. So when we talk about vision versus action, I had to visualize what was the one thing I can do at that time that would change the lives and the trajectory of my children in the future. And what that has done is it has allowed them to be a better individual for the people that they're dating and marrying and all this other stuff. And it was just in those unseen battles I had to catch hold and catch a hold of the fire and find a therapist that can help me process that information and find out my strengths and to continue to build the courage to keep going. So when we talk about the power within ourselves, mental health, especially not just for women, but for men of color, is still under amplified. It is still becoming a joking matter to society, to social media, to those who really don't understand the importance of mental health, just the same as going to the doctor. It is important to check your mental health. That's a lot of people don't go to the doctor, just the same as a lot of people don't see a therapist. We're building the strength and being strong to hold on to all together to keep smiling. Let me say that one more time. We're told to be strong. That's men and women are told to be strong every day. Oh, you're so strong. You're so strong. You're so strong. You're so strong. Oh, you're a black woman. Black women are strong. Black men are strong. Be bold. Hold on. Be strong. But hold on. Be strong. Stop saying it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Being strong and being silent is not strength. Being strong and fighting unseen battles by yourself is not strength. Being strong because somebody told you that you're strong. Oh, you are so you have so much wisdom and knowledge and you're so strong and you understand. Stop it. Stop it. That's Kool-Aid without sugar. It's tart. Quit it. Kool-Aid without sugar. Tea made with salt. Just stop it. You have unseen battles. You have unseen battles that you're dealing with on a daily basis when you're waking up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night. And the last thing you need to hear is somebody telling you that you're strong and serving it up as tea, but it's not sweet tea, it's sour tea. You may be strong, but, and I'm going to add a but to it. What are you doing in strength for your mental health? Are you just going by somebody telling you you're strong and that's okay with you? Are you just going by somebody saying, hey, you're so brave to be in the trenches of living life and you handled that so well? Is that the accolades and the affirmations that you need to show that you're strong? When they don't know that you're fighting a battle just to encourage yourself to keep moving every day? You put a smile, you put a brave smile on, but behind that smile, if I turned it upside down, it would be a huge smile, a frown. And social media does that. Social media sees you with the smile. Social media sees you, like grandma used to say, bright eyed and bushy tailed, because that's what you show. That's what you show. You show I'm bright eyed and bushy tailed. And you are not showing the unseen battles. Why? You don't want nobody to know. So we suffer in silence. We suffer behind the scenes until something happens and you hit that breaking point. And what do you do with that? What do you do with that breaking point? Strength isn't silence. Strength is saying, I need help. Strength is saying, I'm not okay. Strength is saying, I deserve care. Strength is saying, I know that something's not right. Strength is saying the same, I'm not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. The strength in that is, what do you do next? Where do we go from here? Who do we contact? Who do we talk to? That's a strength. If I want to see you flex a muscle when it comes to mental health, it's reaching out and getting the care that you need. So much is going on in society, so much is going on in the government, so much is going on in the economy. And don't get me started about this reel that went out about our black men, that the president, not of the United States, because he don't speak for everybody in the United States, but the president that was voted in saying what it is about black men and how black men or black children, black people were created in a bestiality mode, just being beasts and fighting and angry and all this other stuff, when that is not true. Again, social media depicts black and brown individuals, especially, and I have to say it, especially the black community, the black race, as a race to be afraid of, because we need to be tamed. We need to be isolated. We need to be directed in a manner because we have a doggish behavior and all this other stuff. Well, if that be the case, unapologetically stop listening to the music that we create. Stop wearing the clothes that we wear. Stop trying to put your hair like our hair. Stop trying to be everything a black person is. If that's the case, if we're such this race that is causing so many problems and causing all these things, and just because somebody had an attitude and somebody caught them on a video and posted on social media does not mean everybody, every black woman or every black man is that way. It doesn't mean that. So stop it. And if you're sitting up there doom scrolling and you're okay with that, then you are part of the problem. You are. And I'm going to say it unapologetically. If you sit there and doom stroll and you are okay with that, then you're a part of the problem. So, what can you do to change the problem? Why can we reach out into community and help these young individuals? I do it every Tuesday, Thursday. I love it. Tuesday, Thursday, I'm doing my part. I'm reaching out to young individuals and helping them to see that just because society say and social media say because you live in a certain dynamic graphic or live in a certain graphic area that you should not deserve what help, that you are not okay and that's okay, that we just overlook you, that you don't deserve care because you don't fit the demographic, financially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, you don't deserve anything. I beg to differ. If you're listening right now, I want you to know your voice does matter. Your healing matters. Those who you come close contact with, healing matters. And you don't have to carry it alone. You don't. So, prevention is connection. Let's reach out for some preventative measures. Suicide prevention isn't just a hotline. You don't have to always call the 9. I'm going to post it on here, this banner for suicide prevention 988. Okay. I've known some people who have had some bad experiences with 988. So I'm going to change that. Why don't you contact me? Contact the unapologetic therapist. Call me 346, DM me 346 525 4981. Suicide prevention isn't just a hotline, it's a culture shift. It's checking in, showing up, refusing to let stigma keep you silent. And how I say that, check in is checking in with someone you haven't heard from in a while, sharing a resource, and it doesn't always have to be 988. Your girl got some stuff in store, I'm telling you, right? Let me tell you, God gives us things to do for a reason. And he gave me an assignment and I'm ready for it. Learning the signs and don't be afraid to ask direct questions if someone you think about is suicidal. I remember I had a guest on here, Click Type, and we talked about suicide. And someone asked a question, how do you know if someone is suicidal and what do you do? There are many different ways you can find out somebody is suicidal, and there's many precautions that you can do. You can call 911 if they're in the act of suicide, but a lot of times people will have that conversation, or I've said this before, someone who's really determined to commit suicide, they're not gonna tell you. You're gonna find out after the act is done. Your on the couch moment with me, Couch to Courage. If you want to find out more information about what I'm talking about, share this post, share this live, share my YouTube channel. I'm still working on Spotify. You know, it's something when you're doing it yourself. I don't mind doing the work. I said I'm a therapist and I like to do the therapy work, but I still have to do the behind the scenes, the setting up, the emails, the posts, all this other stuff that you're seeing. I am working on behind the scenes because I really want to get you this valuable information when it comes to mental health. So I'm putting my information out here. Your voice, your presence, your care, they matter more than you know. And I'm saying this. Our on the couch courage moment, I have to give to you. Here's a challenge for tonight. Take one small step towards healing. Book a therapy session. Journal for 10 minutes. Call the friend that you've been avoiding talking to. That's a challenge. Call the friend that you've been avoiding talking to. I got so many text messages today from friends I haven't heard from in a long time. And it felt good because I can text them back. It's like, yeah, that's still my number. If you know me, I've done a lot of speaking before I became fully licensed at group events. I've been to Dallas with my Dallas sister family, my Dallas family when we did retreat, and to be able to talk about mental health and given a challenge to bring something to the forefront for the ladies who were there. We just did Tonight is the Night Mental Health Symposium, reaching out to individuals. Those who were there who needed to be there. Those who missed it, you'll see us in 2026. We have a couple of things going on in 2026. Um, I'm going to continue to fight this journey. I'm on this battlefield. Tell me about what's going on. You can DM me. DM me, post it with the hashtag. You can send stuff, hashtag. Of course, we do have a nonprofit organization now, which is called Color Me Stigma Free. I'm so excited about that, baby. And it's not just to get funds to help individuals who are not able to pay for a therapy session. I'm for everybody, but I also know I can't service everybody. So I will send you to whomever you need to talk to at any time. It don't necessarily have to be me. But I do have an arsenal of individuals who have been in the industry longer than I have. And those who are coming in with all guns blazing that are on fire to get this word out about mental health. Color Me Stigma Free is our baby. And we are doing some great things with that's going to come about. So you can celebrate your courage with us. And how we're going to celebrate that is we're going to continue to move forward when it comes to mental health. Like I said, I wasn't going to keep you long tonight. I know we're at 48 minutes, but in closing, tonight we went from calling out stigma at home to breaking free from the scroll dooming that we do on social media to knowing that scroll dueling is just a trap because it's going to let you bypass seeing people crying out for help. And if you pay attention to those posts, you're going to see different things about suicide and suicide prevention, to turning vision into action, to centering our voices, both male and female, and making preventative protocol when it comes to suicide prevention. This is the work. This is the movement. And it doesn't end when this episode ends. This is daily. Talk about your unseen battles. Let's focus on your unspoken strengths. And let's talk about encouraging one another to keep going. If you or someone you know is struggling, you're not alone. In the United States, there's a call number which is called 988, which is the crisis prevention line. You also have a web chat. It's 988lifeline.org. Your life does matter. It does. Your voice matters. You being here in the present matters. And together we can, from all races, colors, creed, black and brown, everything, can break this stigma that the world has that's being laughed at and laughed off and being a joking situation on social media. Social media is making this whole thing a joke, and it's not. It's not a joke. Suicide, mental health, mental health disorders are not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. I don't care how much you look at memes and whatnot. And you're like, I'm not going to laugh. You're going to laugh. But it's not funny. Why people put those on there? Maybe for entertainment. But it's really not a joking matter, especially when it's costing a person to lose their life. Join us at Color Me Stigma Free, Why He Can't, in this conversation on the couch. Join us by donating, volunteering, sharing this episode. Be a part of the revelation, of the revolution. The revelation of this revolution is what I'm saying. We can't be quiet anymore. We can't be ashamed anymore. And I'm not done. I've only gotten started. Watch us as we continue to grow and be a part of the growth. Join in, donate, share. Even if you don't like what I'm talking about, somebody needs this. Even if you don't share, do not, and I said this before, do not gatekeep this information. Somebody needs to hear this. Stop gatekeeping. You don't gatekeep when it comes to providing other businesses. Why do you have to gatekeep when it comes to mental health? And seeing that we care about your mental health and your mental health well-being. I say it over and over again. Your mental health is your wealth. I'm Morticia Sherman, the unapologetic therapist. I am here. I'm a coach, unapologetically giving truth. I coach. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I specialize in grief because grief is a wide umbrella of things that people really don't want to talk about and they're grieving in. Stop grieving alone and let's grieve together and work through that and pull that muscle, push that muscle to do better than what you're doing today. This is your unapologetic invitation. And I'm heading out of here. Like I said, it wasn't going to be long. I got straight to the point. Share our YouTube channel. Share things that we talk about. Because somebody needs to know that you're the voice behind their healing and they can hear properly. I love you to life because when we know better, we do better and we respond differently. Have a good night.